historic matchup is brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Saints and the Chargers, and it comes your way next.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. We count down to kickoff in what should be an epic one here, as it'll be the AFC champion LA Chargers taking on the NFC champions, the New Orleans Saints. So it all comes down to this. We are ready, and Super Bowl 58 off and running from New Orleans. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Winston. Finding Taysom Hill complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. And he used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
They run on first down as they get about 3. 2nd and 7 forthcoming.
Well, there's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Now it's Kamara in the passing game. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Jameis to throw it. He is going to find Hill here. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 23. Nice third down conversion at even 20 yards.
Normally on third down and short yardage, you're thinking to throw to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes being a linebacker in the middle of the field is kind of like being a doctor on the field. You got to make the right diagnosis. Here he correctly sets his run and shoots through to make the play in the backfield.
On 2nd and 12, Winston. Eluding the press. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Joey Bosa able to get in there and run him down for what's going to be a loss of 15 yards all told. So now after the sack, Winston and the Saints needing to figure out what to do. Tough play, 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Nice call by the defense there on 3rd down. Just flood the field with extra defensive backs in their dime package. Nowhere to go with the football. Forces the incompletion.
And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. 3 points, probably not going to win this Super Bowl, but at least you get something on the opening drive.
And it's certainly not going to lose it. So the bottom line is, come away with the points now, come back and get greedy later, and try and put it in the end zone.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. Herbert and the Chargers now with a 1st and 10 at their own 18. Here's Eckler to begin the drive. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. This Super Bowl, of course, just a huge one for this head coach. The first time he's walked the sidelines in a game of this magnitude. And I might normally ask the cliche, what's going through his mind right now? But maybe the better question, CD, what do you think are the pitfalls of being a first-time head coach in this game?
Well, you know it's something that he thought about, Brandon, and he had to. And he was thinking about it long before he got to this stage. As the season progressed and he saw that his team was good, if he was smart, he started to make plans right then and there. Reach out to other coaches who've been there before. Find out how they handle winning, losing, handling all the ticket situations, travel, practice, all those things. And then trust your gut, make your best decision, and put it all out there and give your team their best chance to win.
Running on 1st down, Eckler. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
On 2nd and 12, Herbert. He's got a man, complete. The 20. And all the way in for a Charger touchdown. And boy, CD, it's one thing to watch a great run, but when it's a great run with broken contact, it's like a cherry on top. That was a nice play.
Yeah, this is a guy who runs with such balance and control. I mean, he went through that early contact just like he was driving over a speed bump. And he's able to continue his way downfield and wind up in the end zone.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact on the next-gen stats. The kick unit on here for the Chargers as they will send this one away. He will return this from deep in the end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. And picked up by the Chargers. And this drive will start on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
How many times in the course of a game do you talk about momentum plays? And I think we just saw one there. Just scored, right?
Just took the lead.
Just took the lead, went downfield, got the ball free again and picked it up. They got a chance to really get the momentum on their side now.
And now they'll try to pop it under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. Herbert will give this one to Eckler. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. That brings us to the end of one in Super Bowl 58. Much more to come from Las Vegas after this. 7-3 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Out of the gun, Herbert. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
Hopkins' kick is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal, please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Just a lone field goal for them so far, trailing 10-3 as they come up 1st and 10. And not much yards to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Here's Winston. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
Well, he certainly didn't like what he saw at all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defense credit. Coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
And the tight end goes in motion left. They go play action. Winston. Oh, this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Derwin James with a pick. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Charger TD. Now it's Hopkins to add the extra point. It's up and good, and that makes it 17-3. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Well, remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to return.
And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The Saints on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. A gain of 4 that time as the drive will continue.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you should have a few men in the box there.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. He was a 1,000-yard receiver during the regular season, and that's his first catch of this Super Bowl, and he picks up the first down. Winston. Complete. Smith has it. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line.
That's into a crowd and intercepted. Derwin James with a pick. 20! And the Chargers are going to take possession of the football.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Eckler now between the tackles. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes.
But they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Eckler going to get it again on 2nd down. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're not doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature and make sure you don't get hurt.
2 minutes on the clock in the second quarter of this Super Bowl. They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. Justin Herbert looking to pass. Touchdown! Keenan Allen, his second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Chargers continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl. The PAT would extend their lead, but there is a flag on the play, and they'll accept that penalty. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Looking sideline, incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting it once, you get first half scores just like this one.
A second down throw for Winston. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hoping they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a first down.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Here's Winston. They complete it to Hill. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. It'll go as a gain of 25 on a play that started back at the 25. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Winston now from the 50. He'll get it once more into the hands of Hill. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and it passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete. We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Open man is the tight end, Troutman. Touchdown, Saints. Adam Troutman, 31 yards. And the Saints get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Lutz good on the extra point, and that cuts the lead to 24-10. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Now Jamal Agnew from his end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. The Charger drive about to get going. Already enjoying a 2-score lead here late in the second quarter. Not a ton of time left. We'll see if they can work this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 to add on even more to their lead. He's got a man, complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A gain of 37.
Big plays are starting to become the trend here in this first half, and everything that they've tried has worked. And there's another example right there.
In motion right comes Allen. On first down, it's Herbert. He's going to let it go end zone for Allen. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by A.J. Terrell. And the Saints are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
He's certainly not been afraid to take some chances downfield. Now, look, it's paid off for him a couple of times. That time, not so fortunate.
And that's where I want to start, what you said. It's paid off a couple of times. So his aggressiveness has been good for his offense for the most part. So he throws an interception there. No one likes that, but I would not rein him back in. The return on investment thus far has been pretty good. 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
After the incompletion, they'll try once more from the 20-yard line on 2nd and 10. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. On 2nd and 10, Winston. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
So now after the sack, Winston and the Saints needing to figure out what to do. Tough play, 3rd and long.
Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And some room to run now. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. So we've reached halftime here in the Super Bowl. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach? And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl.
From his end zone, here comes Agnew.
And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Charger drive about to get going.
And I would imagine this is where you have to take stock of the situation, CD, and say, gosh, we're halfway to the Lombardi Trophy. Let's not slow down now.
And I like the way you went there. Let's not slow down now, because the first half certainly went their way. And I would expect them to continue that type of a game plan. But you're right. You do think back to Super Bowl 54. 49ers had a double-digit lead in the 4th quarter, couldn't hold on. So plenty can still happen.
Eckler going to get it again on 2nd down. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. Here's J.K. Scott now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this 2nd half.
Again, it's Kamara. Takes this one across the 35 to the 36, a gain of about 4.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Winston. And Jameis intercepted a third time. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six and a Charger TD. Here's Hopkins now for the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns and 21 points. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Winston now. They'll get this out to Kamara. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. On third down, here's Kamara. And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first. Give him the third down conversion, 5 yards on the play. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Winston. He'll get this one underneath to Kamara. And they're going to get this up to midfield. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Trying to lay one up deep. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
Andrew Van Ginkel there on the stop.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. It's Eckler again. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Charger first down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Up the middle with Eckler. Room here to run. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. 55 rushing yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
We are through 3 quarters of play here from Allegiant Stadium in Super Bowl 58. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
gun. Eckler running it. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this fourth quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
The Chargers on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Now a give running left is Eckler. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down. They snap it to Herbert. Hit as he throws, and this is going to be incomplete. The 4th down play doesn't work for the Chargers. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that, saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule. If someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
Off the play fake, Winston. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And they're going to get this down to about the 37. On 3rd and 1, here's Winston. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Asante Samuel Jr. Well, there's 2 sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it, and I think about it awfully hard. But also, you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game. So you have to know your player. You have to know the situation.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Once more, here's Eckler. Oh, he's got a little, and he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. He's at the 30. 10, 5, touchdown, LA. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad is on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed watching their execution throughout this contest.
Hopkins with the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. The kick unit on here for the Chargers as they will send this one away. This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And it's becoming more and more apparent that this is just not going to be their night. That Lombardi Trophy so close, but the expectations simply have not matched the results as they start on this drive, 1st and 10. Kenneth Murray able to take him down. It's a loss of 3. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. On 3rd down, Winston. And this will be incomplete. Boy, can you believe this? That one probably should have been picked too. Instead, it's 4th down. Desperation time. Winston on 4th down. It's Hill, complete. And he's got a 1st down as he's going to be taken down. But a very nice pickup there just in front of the 2-minute warning. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. To the air again with Winston. And that's caught inside the 30. And they're going to get this down inside the 20. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. To throw, Winston. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by J.C. Jackson. And the Chargers force the turnover. They'll take over at the 10. For this defense, CD, that's kind of the icing on the cake here as we get to the end of this one.
And didn't you feel that they weren't just going into total prevent there? You know, they had the lead, and sometimes you fall back and you lose your aggressiveness. Not in this case. They were still making a play on the football, and look how that one turned out. They may have salted this one away.
The Charger drive about to get going. And they are trying to play it cool down on the sidelines, but they know that they are very close now to wrapping this thing up and letting the celebration begin. A Super Bowl title within reach now as they try to polish this thing off. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. A give, Eckler running to the right. And he's up past the 10 to about the 12. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. Off the play fake to Eckler, it's Herbert. Going deep here for Allen. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away. This is fielded at the 27. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And control of the football, switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of...
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Asante Samuel Jr. And the Chargers come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. And the Bolts have done it. The Los Angeles Chargers are the Super Bowl champions. For the victors getting to hoist that Lombardi trophy, you know, we've talked to guys that have done it, and they say there's no better feeling in sports.
I don't know how there can be. The journey to get to this game is incredible. And then to finally break through and win it when all eyes are on this game alone because there's nothing else going on, that's just got to be absolutely